Good evening, everyone. Tonight's True Blood is called It Hurts Me Too. It starts out with Eric jumping in front of that bullet that Sookie shot, and because he wants to find out what the werewolf knows about who his leader is and all that stuff, you know, but he can't find out, but Sookie's kind of reading his mind, and he hears the word Jackson, which turns out to be Jackson, Mississippi. And they switch back to, remember the rain that got put on fire when Bill threw that lamp on her? Well, they're putting her out. And I thought it was an illusion, but she actually was on fire, but she gets better. And the king of Mississippi's asking Bill how come he hasn't turned Sookie so that they can live on together forever. Then Eric is burying that werewolf over in that graveyard by Sookie's house, and Sookie wants to go looking for Bill and this Jackson, right? They switched over to Tara. She's doing nasty with that new vampire, Franklin, with the British accent. And then this Sam's confronts his brother about that incident where they ran out in front of the truck and he almost gets hit. And then Sam says goodbye to his parents, tells him he's going back to home to Montauk. Jessica's at the house, back at Bill's house, calls up Pam about the dead body, which is now missing. While Pam is, well, let's say, occupied. Jason has decided he wants to be a cop, so Dwight's helping him study to be a cop. And they call Tara at the bar. They're going to bury eggs. Turns out Sookie's paid for the funeral and for the burial spot and everything. And Sookie and Tara make up, they're back being friends again. Then there's a flashback to 1867 when Bill's actually dreaming. Bill shows up and sees his wife and his son, who has passed on from smallpox. And Lorena shows up at the house. That's the woman that made him. That's the vampire who made him. And it's just well, it's real, but it's Bill having a nightmare. Jason's on the road crew again, and while he's on the road crew, they find a body. It was the body of the guy that Jessica had in the basement, and he's got no head or hands. And that's when the sheriff up and quits. And Sam's folks, they show up at Merlot's. You know, Eric has sent over this guy. I think his name is Bill. I'm not sure. I can't remember what his name is. Eric sent over a guy to go with Sookie to Jackson to help her find Bill so she doesn't get hurt. Since they're going to some werewolf bar. Bill slips back into that dream, and Lorena's there. They have a go back and forward about, you know, him being a vampire. The wife's real upset and everything. And he wakes up in a cold sweat, or whatever vampires wake up in. And he joins up with, he pledges his allegiance to the king of Mississippi. Eric shows up at Lafayette's house with a brand new car and tells him he's going to get him a new place, new furniture and stuff like that for being the best salesman he's got. And Sam's father is feeding his kid shots at the bar, Merlot's, so Sam puts them out. And then Franklin, he shows up at Jessica, to see Jessica, and with the head of the guy. And for helping her out, he wants information about Bill, all the information that Jessica knows about Bill Compton. Now, Sookie shows up at this wolf bar down in Jackson, Mississippi, finds the right wolf, and the guy who's there to help her gets into a fight with the werewolf, and he happens to know the guy who runs the bar. The guy who runs the bar hits that werewolf over the head and kicks his buddies out of the bar, so they're safe. Then Franklin, he shows up at Bill Compton's house to see Tara. Find out more about Bill Compton, knowing that Sookie's down in Jackson. And it ends up with Lorena and Bill in a bedroom, and Bill, it seems, rapes her and twists her head around backwards while he's ravaging her. And then he realizes that he can't kill her even with her head all twisted around backwards, and her saying she loves him. He screams. It ends with him screaming. Instead of Sookie screaming at the end of the episode, it's Bill screaming at the end of the episode. So that was tonight's. It's really fast-paced and an awful lot happens. I hope I condensed it as much as I possibly could. I'll thank you all for your participation, and I'll catch you back on it too. I hope you had a nice weekend and have a nice week. Night night.